Okay, 1971, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score. Where are we up to now? 957 games, not far off 1,000. Opponent's 700, so fairly similar. You get a bit longer in Rapid to make your first move. I forget what it is 20 seconds, 25 seconds. Fairly similar. We'll play d4. We'll probably do g3, our normal Reti setup, but this is more just a standard d4 game now. So I'm just going to do this. Break the symmetry. We're just trying to get the king castled, get safe, get a playable position for us and our opponent, and then we'll worry about what to do after that. But of course, we have to be prepared to react to what our opponent does. So we're going to just castle. Yeah, it's gone very bold very early. So we haven't actually castled here. So is this a problem? We can just develop the other side instead. Yeah, I think I should bring this knight up. I can drop this one back if I have to. Down here I could even maybe risk going here, but probably here. Depends what he does. I'm threatening to push the pawn in now, potentially. So he's come forward. So is bishop up a move? I like bishop up there, just to break this. If he takes, we can take back. We can kick the bishop. We can maybe look to advance forward at the right moment. But he's got to think about where his king's going to go. We have the option to go queen or king side. So I'm just going to kick that bishop there. I don't think he'll take. I think he'll drop back. But he's restricted the escape route now. But he has gone back. So his knight up a move. If he takes, we take back. If he drops back, we can take. He takes. Not sure I like that move. What about pawn up? I think it is a move. It's a perfectly fine move. I'm just not sure I like it. b4 is a bit bold because I might want to go on that side. So I think I'm just going to play knight up. See, if he takes here, it's a check. We could take with either knight, but I'll just drop this e4 knight back, I think. I mean, we could take with the other knight, and then we're threatening to take and trade off there. But the natural way to take back would just be simply with the knight here. Then you're not blundering it, potentially. Again, he could go forward, and we can trade, and then we've maybe got e3. He has taken... So we're going to take the bishop and then probably just come straight back again. But again, depends what our opponent does. So knight up is a move, is it potentially? No, it isn't. It's not a move right now. Yeah, he has gone there. So we're just going to drop the bishop back. See if he trades. Again, if we take the knight this time, the pawn would lose. So we just take with a queen if he trades here. And there's no dark squared bishop anymore to pin. So it would just line up castling. That's what he's done. So we're going to take... So we've got the option to go both ways. I'd still rather castle king side as a general principle, but we have to see what our opponent's doing with this pawn attack, and he does come forward. Okay, now the knight here looks perfectly safe. There's no dark squared bishop to challenge it. You're not going to give up your queen. It stops the pawn push, so it means king side castling is easier. The other route is to come back, and we need a lot of moves, don't we? So I'm actually going to go here. Relatively safe there, not a lot to challenge it. So kingside castling looks safe. We're threatening to maybe trade, but that's a bit dicey, a little bit dicey there. Or we can try and just launch in the centre once we've made our mind up where we're going. Well, he's actually offering a queen trade there. Okay, but if I take there, my knight is trapped, so I'm not going to do that. Now I could take here first, then take and drop the knight back. Now that is an option. That is an option. The pawn's then doubled up. He can't push unless he does it like this. So we can still castle. Or I can take, and maybe move the queen. Or I can just move the queen initially, but I guess he would guard. I like the idea of doing this, actually. Take, knight back. Once we've castled, there's no real danger, is there? Actually, what am I doing? This way first. Then I'm just going to take here and drop the knight back. So we've only got the couple of moves that we can play there. And once we've castled, we guard our pawns. We could go and still castle the other side and just try and edge forward. We can aim for this, but obviously he can deal with it potentially. Let's see what he does. He might go really forward, really bold. He goes that side. So knight up now we attack the pawn. Say he pushes down. We can then castle. We might lose a pawn and gain a pawn. It's just more common sense to castle immediately, isn't it? But knight out the way, if he pushes, the rook's under attack. So knight out the way, pawn down is the natural move. And then I guess we just kind of have to castle there, but he might be able to get double the rooks up and pile the pressure on the pawn. I don't like the look of that so much. So what if I castle here? Rook across. Actually, it's a bit weakening, isn't it? No. Might have gone slightly wrong here. Might have gone slightly wrong allowing this. I think I'm committed to it now, so I'm going to play this. I don't think there's much else I can do. But I can see in the long run the rooks are going to double up like this and we could be in trouble. So we might have to just sack a pawn here and come across or try and take here. Yeah, that's what he's gone for. That's what he's done. So we can either castle or we can move the rook. I think we should probably move the rook and aim to castle the other side. So that's what I'm going to do. Hit this pawn. If he takes here, we can take this pawn. Down. It's still a little bit dicey, isn't it? Knight in. So is it actually a move to take here, down, knight check, king up here, rook across, and we're trapped, right? So we can't go that way. So here, down is the move, isn't it? The knight can't retreat. So here, if he goes here, yeah, we can't retreat, so we can't go there. So this is our only other playable move. So we're going to have to go here. Yeah, the game's just essentially over now. The game is over. We've miscalculated it. It's gone wrong. So it's just chess. It is what it is. So he's just going to take the pawn. Is there any point playing this one? I'm not sure there is. Let's just push a pawn up. But yeah, there's no point playing this one now. We've made a mess of this one. So we'll just get this game over and done with. Let's just take here, hit this pawn again. But this time, there is a path to retreat to. Bishop down could be a move, I guess. But yeah, this game's just finished. But bishop down looks like a very strong move. Stops us castling. If we did castle, this pawn is weak, so... not a lot we can do, not a lot. But there really isn't anything we can do practically, is there? I mean, we can obviously drop back and hit the rook, but it doesn't achieve a lot. Maybe go here. But you can just retreat. Oh, he's gone to pin the rook and trade it, so we could trade and get the pawn back then. Or I can just castle now. What's wrong with that, actually? If we castle, trade, yeah, that looks good. He's allowed us to castle. Now, is he going to play f5? He should do, probably. Because we can't go here. We could go here. But he's gone to guard it with the bishop now. There's just nothing to be done, is there? The game's just kaput. Let's just bring the rook back then. Yeah, it's not possible to defend this. The game's just finished. Should we just get on with another game? Any point playing this? Let's just bring the king up. But I can't actually get here to guard the pawn anyway, can I? Okay, I'm just going to play this quickly now. Get this game over with. It's finished, so... we'll just get it over with and look for another game. So he comes forward... let's just drop the knight back. He shouldn't take here because he's got a great position. He should keep that bishop. So we just drop the knight back. Okay. Let's just bring the king up. Like I say, it's not possible to defend this. It's just over. It's just a case of what he feels like doing. Or some calamitous blunder, of course. I'm just going to play it like a relatively bullet game now, if I can just get it over with and look for another game. And you never know, the odd blunder does happen now and again. Of course, everybody blunders, but okay, he's lining this up. So let's go here. Again, he shouldn't really trade his bishop because he's got a great position, so there's no need to trade it, but we are threatening a check to take. But he's got check now, I'll have to drop back. So he's dealt with that. Not much to be said, is there? Let's just go forward. Again, I can still drop back if he checks. An anchor square for the knight. We could go forward, but we're in a pin, so there's not much point doing that. So let's just drop back and look to jump the knight forward. He can obviously push forward at some point if he wishes. If we can just get rid of that bishop, we can try and activate the rook, but it's a bit challenging. Comes forward. Okay, let's just chuck the knight forward. All roads should lead to victory for black. They should do, of course. If the bishop comes off, like I say, maybe you can try and pretend that you're activating your rook, but we're just down too much material here. What is it? 2 clean pawns, isn't it? 2 pawns should be far too much at this level. So we can throw a check in and hit. Oh, we can win a pawn actually. Check and we win a pawn. But then he takes here, so he's done that deliberately. So check. He moves somewhere. We take. He's got rook takes back. He could take another one. Yeah, so it's actually nothing, is it? So let's just guard there. Do I try and create an outside pawn though? He takes here, we could take this way and try and create an outside pawn. It's clutching at straws somewhat, isn't it? But it's an option. But whatever I do, I have to play quicker than my opponent. I've got to put him under time pressure. Otherwise, that slight resemblance of a threat is just non-existent. But there is a knight check threat now. So I'm going to do it this way and try and create that passed pawn. The rook's got a nice dark square to aim for. We need to run as fast as we can. He's coming. So check is a move. He could go here. We don't want that. So here he just pushes down. But we can check if he goes here. There's no follow-up, is there? I can check here. He can come in as well, and there's no follow-up. So I think we need to start marching this pawn. Here, I guess I'll... Oh, rook across here. I've got the knight check. Take, take. So rook there, we've got a knight check. I assume that's what he's aiming for. Then maybe we've got rook across. Oh, he's pushed the pawn the other side, so we can't take. So let's just threaten to push this pawn on then. 1, 2, 3 more squares needed, but he does have this safety net though. He's got that. Take here, I'll just take back. And at least that extra pawn there is doubled up, but he's got this monster center block, but I'm putting him under a little bit of pressure now. So say we get the pawn here. If he moves this and moves his rook, he covers the back square. So it's very, very difficult, very difficult. But we have got the rook that can go on a dark square to avoid this bishop. If I go here, he can simply check. If I go here, maybe he just checks again. That's actually a bit annoying, isn't it? So I don't think that's really a move. But if he goes here now, I think I've got rook here to stop the king coming further across. So he's gone for that sack. So he has to move this to cover the corner. And that's what he's done. So can we just take now? Has he blundered it? If I take here and he goes here, how does he stop the pawn? If he takes, I just take. Yeah, he's blundered it, hasn't he? Unbelievable. He's just blundered the game from completely won. I guess that's why you should never give up on your games, because I do sometimes, being a bit old school, I do sometimes think, yeah, I'm losing this game, just resign and get on with another one and give up, so to speak. Oh, now I can step up here, can't I? And if he goes here, I then push. So that's the right move to make here. So now I can queen. There's still a lot of work to be done here, but if I can give up the queen for these two and collect these and keep this one, I'm still actually winning. So is it best to throw a check in here? Probably. Then he has to go back, right? I want to collect these two and then sack for these two and then still promote the other pawn. That's the objective, unless I can get the queen in. Oh, now I can surely. Here. say he pushes down, I can check here. He'll have to step up. Maybe it's not that easy still. Yeah, he's just resigned. He's had enough. Yeah, I think queen here is probably the right plan there. Queen here maybe. Say he pushes, we just take here. He can push again. We're safe to take here. He can move his king. We can check. We can then line up to sack the pawn here, collect this and promote here. So it should be winning. He's just blundered it. Very, very lucky. So let's see what it was in engine speak and double check it. So 44 moves. They're the move tiles of both players. Yeah, so that's why you shouldn't really give up on games when you think, yeah, I'm completely busted and lost here, just in case. You never know. But I knew I was completely hopeless there. And, I'm a bit older. I'm a little bit more old school. So I sometimes think, yeah, let's just get on with another game. But glad we played this one out. Worst case, we were, what, -5. See, I knew I was completely busted. I'd messed up. -4.5, and then he just blundered it. Okay, so it's 88 versus 82 on the accuracy. So let's just take a flick through and just see how we messed up here. Because he played the opening terrific, didn't he? A little bit bold. He's kind of committed to that early attack before we've committed to castling. I think as a general principle, I'd hold off that until we've castled and then you've started your attack. But here, yeah, we should be meeting that with h4. And that's something useful to learn for the future if I get that again. I should have been playing h4 to challenge that pawn structure very early on here. So we're still marginally better. And this is about where it's going to go wrong. Yeah, I should have played just the queen up immediately, but I just assumed after bishop here. I've not got a lot on, but I've just seen. Have I got pawn up? I can take, can I? I've just seen it, yeah. With here, I assumed bishop up. If I've got bishop takes, I can then push up, and I hit the bishop, and I hit the rook with a check threat. So bishop takes, I can take with a check. You can step up, I take another rook, and then I lose this rook. And that's a good trade, isn't it? I didn't calculate it out properly. So I went for this trade first of all, and it was just not brilliant, but it's just coming up now where we've actually blundered with knight e3. Yeah, I should have just castled, and then this long-term danger, try and find a way to survive it, like you push up, you take, and you use your king to blockade, something like that. Because it's still only 0.6 here, so that's where I've messed this one up. And then we've suddenly got a horrible, horrible position. So here, it was better to actually take immediately. Now you see -4.4, and we're just kind of giving up on the game. We're trying to play quicker than our opponent to put that little bit of pressure on the clock. We're hoping for tricks. So I should have actually played the knight forward there, even though it's into a pin, but I should have done it. Okay. Yeah, and here I should have actually played the king up, you can see, and gone into that same position again, instead of pushing the pawn up. So that's 4.5 again, but that's the worst we are now. Now it's 2.8, and that's a blunder, which allows us to start pushing the pawn, and now we're suddenly better. Then he's gone for that sacrifice, and thankfully in this position I've been able to see that you just can't stop the pawn. You draw your box around, and you've got to be your move, and you've got to be able to step into that box, and if you can't catch the pawn. So of course with a box here, the king just simply can't stop it, and there's no obvious way for black to get a quick queen. So in this position, obviously when we get to the end, we've still got 3.5 minutes, so you just got to take your time and figure it out. I'm looking at this, I'm looking at back, check, you come up, and there's no obvious follow-up there to clean up. So that's dangerous. So I'm looking at more like queen here. Say you push down, I mean, we can take this one initially. You push down again, we just take here. You move the queen somewhere, sorry, the king somewhere. We can even just take this pawn. Your queen, we take, your king takes. And then we just 1, 2, 3 squares in, and we make a new queen, and it should be comfortable. So a lot of luck thrown into this one, but a good win in the end.